This show is brought to you by the All Pro Nation Radio Network. Be sure to like and subscribe and check us out online at allpronation.com, where fans have a voice.
What is up, everybody? You are tuned in to the All Pro Nation podcast, live right here on the All Pro Nation Radio Network. My name is Chris Smith. Got always my buddy Tanner with me. Tanner, how you doing, man?
Doing great. Had a heat wave today up here in South Dakota.
What was it?
Oh, the hottest temp of the year so far, 65 degrees.
Ouch. Man. Here we've been hovering around in the 80s. I can smell the 90 and 100 degree weather coming. I'm not looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it when I move down to Arizona either.
Well, good luck to you for that. Born and raised in South Dakota, and now you're about to move to the desert. That's going to be a quick shock. All right, so cool show packed for today. Before we get started, I just want to kind of throw something out there to you guys. So as you may or may not have ever realized, we have kept the All Pro Nation podcast and the website allpronation.com completely ad-free over the course of the last year that the podcast has been going on, because we get frustrated when we listen to podcasts or the radio and have to hear advertisements. We understand that it's part of the business, but we've tried our best to keep this completely ad-free. With that being said, we're getting to the point, All Pro Nation, thanks to you guys for listening and interacting with us. The website and the podcast is growing a lot faster than I think any of us expected it to. Because of that, expenses are now starting to pile up. So me and Tanner, and if any of you remember Nick from the earlier podcast, we kind of support All Pro Nation through our own pockets, paying for advertisement via social media. The website costs money every month. The podcast costs money every month. The equipment to record and do all of this, it all costs money. And we have getting to the place to where now it is time to upgrade our infrastructure within All Pro Nation, if you will. And so we want to continue to make it ad-free. We've had a couple people approach us about advertisement, and we've turned them down because we want to keep the podcast ad-free. Our way of doing that, though, is we're gonna need your help. I don't want this to sound like a money pitch and you turn off the podcast. But if you go to allpronation.com, there's going to be a donate tab. If you could click that tab, and if you could donate just anything that you feel like you can. It can be as low as $1 and it can be as high as you want. You know, for the cost of one Coke out of a Coke machine, you could help support the All Pro Nation podcast. And that way we can continue to grow, get you some better guests, get some better equipment so you can get better sounding podcasts, and really keep the growth of All Pro Nation going. So go to allpronation.com. Just give up a Coke, man. Just one Coke this week, and use that money and donate to the podcast. So, Tanner, are you gonna give up one Coke this week so you can donate $1 to the podcast?
I could probably give up a few Cokes.
Okay, all right. So we surely appreciate you. We're not going to bring this up every podcast. We just wanted to let you know that we're getting to the place to where we need to reinvest in our infrastructure, and we would like to keep it ad-free as long as we can. And if you guys who listen to us and support the podcast could help by just donating $1, we are going to make sure that investment in All Pro Nation doesn't go to waste, and you will be getting some very cool features and special surprises if you donate to us. So anyways, got the business stuff out the way. Let's jump right on in. We got a great show for you. We're doing Mock Draft 2.0. Thank you to everybody on the Twitter account. You can find us on Twitter. If you're not already following us, you need to be following us. That's at Twitter. We're at All Pro Nation. Thank you to everybody who this past Sunday did our interactive mock draft. It was a lot of fun, huh, Tanner?
Absolutely. Always is.
So thank you guys for that. So here's what the show is going to be about tonight. You may remember a couple of weeks ago we did the mock draft. So we're going to me and Tanner are going to mock the first round of the NFL draft. We're going to compare my mock, and the mock that you guys did through the interactive mock draft. And we're going to kind of break all that down. We're going to hit a few free agency stuff. We're going to hit our weekly news and topics. And then we're going to get you guys out of here. So let's jump right on in with the first pick in the 2018 NFL Draft. The Cleveland Browns are on the clock. Tanner, who did the fans pick?
For the second interactive mock draft in a row, the fans went with quarterback Sam Darnold out of USC.
Okay, makes sense. And who did Tanner go with?
I'm not going to change my pick here. It's probably going to stay the same all the way up to the draft. I'm also going to Sam Darnold. It sounds like it's come down to Darnold and Josh Allen. Josh Allen very well could be the pick. I just don't think he should be.
Okay. So I'm changing mine. I went with Josh Allen for mock draft 1.0. I personally still think it should be Josh Allen. I think he is the overall best quarterback in this draft. Definitely has the highest upside. But I think the Browns are going to go with the safer pick. And so I, too, am going to agree and go with quarterback Sam Darnold at number 1.
All right.
All right. So with the second pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the New York Giants are on the clock. And who did the fans select?
Fans went with a quarterback here. That surprised me a little bit. I kind of thought that they'd go maybe best player available, but quarterback Josh Rosen out of UCLA is the pick here.
Okay. And Tanner went with?
For my pick, I went with the best player available, best player in the draft, the running back Saquon Barkley.
Okay.
From what we've been told, I know even with Ryan on the podcast last week, it sounds like the Giants are all in on Eli Manning for another year or two, maybe 3 years even. So the best thing that they can do is to surround him with the best weaponry possible, and Saquon Barkley is definitely the best pick here, in my opinion.
Okay. I'm going to go something a little bit different. I'm going back quarterback, but I'm going Josh Allen as the pick. I think they're going to go Josh Allen. Even and here's my philosophy with it. Right, quarterback is the absolute most important player on the roster. If they're going to go with Eli Manning for another year or two, I think the hope is that they're not sitting at the number 2 pick again. Right? I don't think anybody wants to be at the number 2 pick. So I'm hoping that Gettleman and Shermer think they're going to turn this thing around. They're not going to be this high again. They need to get their quarterback. They're in the place to get the quarterback. And everybody's criticism of Josh Allen is that maybe he's not exactly day one ready, but he has the highest upside. Well, what better place to go than a place where he can work with a quarterback guru and Pat Shermer, learn under Eli Manning, sit for a year or two, and then become the guy in New York. Mm-hmm. So I think he's the best overall quarterback, and so I'm going Josh Allen.
I think people are going to be surprised. I do think the Giants are going to take a quarterback fairly early. I just don't know if it's going to be at number 2.
Okay, so you think they're going to trade back up into the first round?
Maybe.
Okay. All right.
I guess people have to keep listening if they want to find out.
Ooh, spoiler. Okay, with the third pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the New York Jets are on the clock, and the fans selected.
The fans went with another quarterback, Josh Allen out of Wyoming.
Okay. And who'd you go with?
I went with another quarterback as well, but it's not Josh Allen. It is rumored that they like Baker Mayfield a lot, and Broadway Baker does fit New York well, so that's the pick here.
All right, I guess me and you are going to agree on this one as well. I'm going quarterback Baker Mayfield for the New York Jets. I think his
We know it's a
personality.
quarterback. It just depends who it is.
Yeah, I think his personality fits there. I think that he fits the system that they run. Uh, I like the pick. I like Baker Mayfield to the Jets.
Yeah, it all. I mean, he definitely fits the New York media well. I think
Yeah.
fans will have a lot of fun with that as well as the team.
All right. With the fourth pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns are on the clock, and the fans selected.
Best player in the draft, running back Saquon Barkley. So they went with the quarterback Sam Darnold at number 1 and Barkley at number 4.
Okay. And who did Tanner go with?
I went defense on this one, actually. The best defender in the draft, arguably. Defensive end Bradley Chubb. I think the Browns are going to throw him across from Myles Garrett, and that defense, they were already really good last year. They just had trouble scoring points. I just think they're going to have a really, really good pass rush next year if they add Bradley Chubb across from Myles Garrett.
You're really frustrating me right now.
I didn't look at your draft. I mean, if you want to agree with me, it's fine.
At number 4, I'm going Bradley Chubb. Now, keep in mind, I do want to throw this out there because you went Bradley Chubb because you've already taken Saquon Barkley off the board. I still have him on the board.
Ooh. Is he going to break 5?
I don't know. At number 5, the Denver Broncos are on the clock, and who did the fans select?
At number 5, the fans selected quarterback Baker Mayfield out of Oklahoma.
Okay. And who did Tanner select?
I'm going O-line here. The best offensive lineman in the draft, Quentin Nelson out of Notre Dame.
Okay.
That offensive line was an issue last year, and even if, I mean, I think they have faith in Case Keenum to maybe get it done for a year, and they're going to give Paxton Lynch one more chance to back him up. So I would just go best player available here if I were the Broncos and John Elway, and Quentin Nelson is definitely that pick.
All right, at number 5, I'm going not Saquon Barkley. I'm going quarterback Josh Rosen.
Think they're going to take a QB, huh?
I do. Look, and I hope that Case Keenum's good. Then that'll give them some good trade material for next year. You know, I wish the best for Case Keenum, but I'm not. If I'm John Elway, I'm not banking on Case Keenum as my future. I think if there's any place that Case Keenum should have gone, it was probably follow Shermer to New York or stay in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. So yeah, I'm going.
We'll see what happens. It's definitely going to be interesting to see what he can do.
All right. So with the 6th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Indianapolis Colts are on the clock, and the fans selected.
I want people to keep in mind that we did not do any trade scenarios in the interactive mock draft, so the team that is in its selective spot had to make a pick. The Colts here are taking defensive end Bradley Chubb. That has been a highly rumored pick. Okay. Chubb to the Colts has fit the mold quite a bit.
And so, since you just did that teaser about no trades and whatnot, I'm just going to assume that you made a trade right here.
I made a trade here, and I'm actually, I don't know if it's called breaking news or not, but last week sometime I heard
is
that
the All Pro Nation podcast about to break news?
Well, I don't know how many people have heard it. I mean, it's already out there, but ESPN draft analyst Todd McShay came on an ESPN XM radio late last week, and he said that a trade between the Dolphins at number 11 and the Colts at number 6 is 90% done already.
Hold on.
So I don't know if they're just a trade. The Dolphins at number 11 want to move up to number 6 where the Colts are at. They said a trade between those two teams is 90% complete already.
Wow. Okay.
So I took that into consideration when I did this mock draft, and I'm going to say the Dolphins are going to move up, and they're going to take a QB, and the next best available QB on the board is Josh Rosen out of UCLA.
Okay. Interesting.
That's my gander.
Okay.
What you got?
With number 6, I'm going linebacker Raquan Smith.
They do need defensive help, that's for sure.
They do. So I'm going. Uh, with Smith there.
I actually considered that before doing the trade. So that's a good pick. I like that.
All right. So with the 7th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are on the clock, and the fans selected.
Fans selected guard Quentin Nelson out of Notre Dame.
Okay. And who?
I selected the safety out of Florida State, keeping the homeboy in-state, Derwin James. I think he's going to bring a tenacity to that defense, and he's a leader, and they're in desperate need of both of those things in the secondary.
Okay. With the 7th pick here, I went with a running back. Saquon Barkley, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I mean, they have a giant hole at running back. I'd just be shocked if Barkley fell that far, but you never know.
It is my worst nightmare, but if it happens.
Was it? There was a draft analyst. I don't know which one it was. I remember. I think it was Mel Kiper, actually. Mel Kiper had Barkley falling to the Niners, I think.
Oh, wow.
In one of his recent drafts. I think it was Mel Kiper. I could be wrong.
The Niners are at number 9?
Yeah, that's a long ways.
That's a long ways. I have him going all the way to 7. But we'll see. All right. With the 8th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears are on the clock, and the fans selected.
Fans selected linebacker Tremaine Edmonds out of Virginia Tech.
Okay.
My pick does not change. I think this is who I picked last time, and I'm agreeing with the fans. I think Tremaine Edmonds is going to be the pick. It's rumored that Vic Fangio likes him a lot, and he has a tremendous amount of upside to bring to that defense. And on the plus side, another plus side, he's only 19 years old. So, crazy amount of talent.
Yeah. So I am going with I'm going defense here, but I'm going with safety Minkah Fitzpatrick, the Chicago Bears.
Oh, the Fitzpatrick and Adrian Amos would be one of the top 5, I think.
That
safety duos in the league. That'd be insane.
Yeah, that would be crazy, huh?
For sure.
That's my pick. Okay. So with the 9th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers are on the clock, and they select.
Fans pick linebacker Raquan Smith out of Georgia.
Okay.
At number 9 for the Niners, I went with cornerback Denzel Ward. They could go Raquan Smith. He is still on the board for me, but I think they're okay with their linebacker core that they have now with Reuben Foster and Eli Harold. So I went with cornerback Denzel Ward, and I think that's an excellent compliment to Richard Sherman on the other side of the field.
Yeah, okay. I'm going defense here as well, but I'm going linebacker Tremaine Edmonds.
Okay.
So I worry about you just said his name. Linebacker out of Alabama.
Or Georgia, Raquan Smith.
No, that's already on the team. Drafted.
Oh, Reuben Foster.
Reuben Foster. Golly, why couldn't I think of that? I worry about Reuben Foster just staying out of trouble.
Yeah, that's definitely a concern there. It's not off to a great start for the offseason.
That, and then, I mean, if they can, with Todd Gurley being in the division, I mean, if they could just boost that, keep that front 7 super strong, slow him down, I think they can get it. I think they can get a cornerback. Here's how I look at the cornerbacks in this draft. Honestly, I think Denzel Ward is being heavily overdrafted.
Fair.
I think he is bottom first round. I can see a team. I can see why teams like him, and I think he probably will go in the top 15, top 20. I honestly think Mike Hughes is the better cornerback. I don't think he's going to get drafted before Ward. I think Mike Hughes is going to be drafted late first. But
Mike Hughes is going to drop because of his small off the field concerns that he has. I mean, he's a great player. Don't get me wrong. I was just having this conversation with somebody the other day. If you were to ask 5 different people who they think the best cornerback in this draft is, you'll probably get 5 different answers.
Oh yeah,
because there's a lot of them.
And Josh,
no clear cut
Jackson
guy.
is really good.
Mm-hmm.
So
Jair Alexander.
Some
people have him as the top guy. So.
Jackson, Dante Jackson, he's a good one. So I mean, yeah, there's a lot of good corners in this draft. All right, so we're going to move on to the 10th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft. The Oakland Raiders are on the clock, and the fans selected
Minkah Fitzpatrick, the safety out of Alabama.
Okay, I can see that.
I actually really like that fit for the Raiders. He's so versatile, and he can play every position in the secondary. And the Raiders really need a lot of help in their secondary right now.
Yeah, I like that pick.
I also went with Minkah Fitzpatrick. I don't know if he's going to fall that far. I think there's a good chance that he does, but I just think it's a perfect fit in that Raiders defense. So that's what I went with. I picked him over Roquan Smith, by the way. I got to throw that out there. I know a lot of people have remembered Roquan Smith to the Raiders.
I'm actually going offense with my pick, and I'm going with guard Quentin Nelson.
Oh my goodness, where's he going to play?
What's that?
Where's he going to play at?
What do you mean? Where's he going to play? He's going to play on the offensive line.
Well, who are they gonna move? They got 2 good guards already, don't they?
I mean, here's my thing. I think like we've said 100 times, Quentin Nelson is a generational player in this draft on the offensive line. I think that they had a hard time getting a running game going, and I think they had a very hard time keeping Derek Carr upright. I think they need to go offensive lineman, and why not go the absolute best offensive lineman in this draft and figure out the rest later?
I mean, I guess that's your opinion. I just think their defense is crap last year. They were pretty much crap on both sides of the ball, actually.
And John Gruden's an offensive guy, and I just think he's gonna go offense.
All right.
So, all right, with
Point taken.
With the 11th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins are on the clock, and the fans selected.
The fans selected defensive tackle, or nose tackle, I should say, Vita Vea out of Washington to replace Ndamukong Suh.
Okay. All right.
I have the trade back. This is where the Colts are selecting. After the trade with the Dolphins selected Josh Rosen earlier at number 6. So the Colts moved back to 11, and I have them taking middle linebacker Roquan Smith out of Georgia.
Okay. I still have the Dolphins here, and I have them going safety Derwin James.
Okay, him again with Malik Hooker. I like that a lot.
Yeah, that'll be a good little secondary right there.
Yeah, that's a good safety tandem.
All right, so with the 12th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Buffalo Bills are on the clock. The fans selected who?
Fans selected quarterback Lamar Jackson out of Louisville.
Okay.
I think that's really early for Jackson, but that's just my opinion.
Hey man, I've said this since the start of all the draft. We started working on the draft. I think Lamar Jackson's the second best quarterback in this draft. I think he's just being undervalued by a lot of teams. So I could see him going that high.
Mm-hmm.
So. All right, I went with defensive tackle Vita Vea for the Buffalo Bills.
Okay. Yeah, they got Kyle Williams is probably going to retire after the season, so
yeah,
a defensive tackle is definitely a position that they need to address at some point in the draft, I think.
Yeah.
You're going to ask me who I went with?
Oh, I thought you did I skip you? My bad.
Yeah, you didn't want my opinion.
That's right. I don't. Go away. No, what is it? Josh
Allen, the quarterback out of Wyoming.
Okay.
There's ton of rumors could be trading up to get him, but why not just let him fall to you?
Yeah.
You don't even have to move. You can keep the 22nd pick too.
I guess if they feel like he's going to fall, I mean, you never know. There are
Yeah.
there are a lot of quarterback hungry teams, and
I'm telling you, it's got to suck to be a GM because you got to read all those teams in front of you. You have no idea what other people's big boards look like or where Josh Allen might rank
yeah,
on their big boards according to the other QBs. So
yeah,
that's really tough to project something like that.
it is. All right, with the 13th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Washington Redskins are on the clock. The fans selected.
Safety Derwin James out of Florida State.
Okay.
And I went with defensive tackle Vita Vea
Okay.
out of Washington. I think that's the perfect fit in that defense. He's a 3-4 nose tackle, and they finally have somebody that can help them stop the run.
All right. I went with cornerback Denzel Ward.
Another interesting pick.
Interesting, huh?
Well, we got Josh Norman and Orlando Scandrick. Unless you're looking at him for the long haul.
I mean,
I don't think he'd be a day one starter though.
I'm looking more for the long haul. I'm also I think that I think they need help in the secondary. Nothing's saying that Denzel Ward can't kick into the inside and cover the slot. I think he has that ability. Looking at some film of him, I think he is a good slot guy. That's kind of more where I see him day one moving into. But like I said, I don't think that Denzel Ward is the hands down best corner in this draft. And I don't know if I'm a GM if I really want him going to the outside on day one. So, anyways, that's my 2 cents on that.
Okay.
All right, with the 14th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Green Bay Packers select.
His name's popping up again. The fans selected cornerback Denzel Ward of Ohio State, and it is definitely no secret that they need secondary help.
They do.
I went with – this is more of a mock draft fan pick, or like amongst experts. I wouldn't say amongst fans, actually, but pass rusher Marcus Davenport out of Texas San Antonio.
Okay.
He's been rumored to the Packers a lot the past few weeks. So.
Yeah, that's an interesting pick.
It's a guy that can replace Clay Matthews.
Yeah.
Down the road as well.
So interesting of a pick that I also went Marcus Davenport.
There you go. See, a lot of people are projecting that.
All right, with the 15th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals select.
Wide receiver Calvin Ridley out of Alabama to go across from Larry Fitzgerald.
Ooh.
I went with quarterback Lamar Jackson out of Louisville. I do think Lamar Jackson's going to go a lot higher than I think he should. I think he's going to go anywhere from this spot all the way to 32. So I think he's going to be a first-round pick, but I don't think it'll be higher than 15. That'd be a reach. So, yeah, I went with Lamar Jackson. Not Sam Darnold, I'm sorry. Sam Bradford's got legs made of glass. The offensive line that's in Arizona is nothing special. So I think you need to have some good insurance behind him. I don't like Mike Glennon, and Lamar Jackson can at least elude pressure. So I think that's a good pick for them.
Yeah. So you kind of answered. My pick. I went Connor Williams, offensive tackle.
There you go.
Yep. Definitely
need O-line help. No secret.
Yeah. All right. With the 16th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens select.
Back-to-back wide receivers, Christian Kirk out of Texas A&M. They need playmakers.
Yeah.
I also selected a wide receiver for the Ravens, but this is my first wide receiver off the board, and that's Calvin Ridley out of Alabama.
Okay.
I mean, they have Michael Crabtree there, but Rashad Perriman's been a disappointment, and after that, who else do they have, really? Chris Moore?
Right.
John Brown, I think. So they need some long term. I think long term here. So Calvin Ridley's the pick.
All right. I also went wide receiver. I went with wide receiver Cortland Sutton.
Oh, 3 different wideouts.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Very interesting.
Okay.
All right. With the 17th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the LA Chargers select
Right tackle. I shouldn't say right tackle because he can play left or right, but he's projected to play right tackle, according to most scouts. Mike McGlinchey out of Notre Dame.
Okay.
That offensive line looks really good, but Joe Barksdale is definitely the black sheep of the 5, and Mike McGlinchey would be an excellent replacement.
Okay.
I also went with Mike McGlinchey. I had to agree on that. I like Connor Williams better, but this draft is based on what I think is going to happen, and I think Mike McGlinchey is going to go higher than Connor Williams for whatever reason.
I also went
What you got?
with Mike McGlinchey.
Oh man, all 3.
Yep. That means it's got to happen.
All right. It's got to happen, right?
All right. With the 18th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select
Seattle Seahawks select cornerback Josh Jackson out of Iowa.
Okay. And
I have my second Trey alert here.
Oh, no.
Are you ready for this salty one? The New England Patriots are trading up from 23 to 18 to select tackle Connor Williams out of Texas. They currently, I guess, between Adrian Waddle and Antonio Garcia, that looks like that's going to be the left tackle competition. But what are they going to do on the other side? They need some offensive line help. Tom Brady needs some help. I like this pick here a lot. And they get to keep their other first-round pick at 32, or 31, I'm sorry. And the Seahawks move back to 23 and get one of the Patriots' second-round picks.
Okay. That's a bold prediction. Especially considering that trading up is not something that the Patriots generally do. So that's a bold prediction. I'm going.
I should throw out before you make your pick in there too. They had to move up to get this pick before the Bengals were on the board because the Bengals and the Bills, who also picked before them, both need tackle help as well.
Okay. All right. So, are you ready for my pick?
Is it bold?
It's not very bold.
Oh, all right. Let's hear it.
But I do know that I watch the geography of the podcast and where people are listening, and a lot of people listen to.
You got some guy from like Korea playing or something.
We do no, but we do have a lot of listeners concentrated in the north part of the country, kind of around that Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota area.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of those people are big-time Vikings fans. And a lot of those people really want this player to slip to them. And
oh my gosh, here you go. You're going to break everybody's heart. I love it.
So Vikings fans, don't hate me. Keep listening to the podcast. But guard Isaiah Wynn going to the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, that's realistic, I think.
Yeah, they need
fans need to accept the fate.
They need offensive line help bad.
Yeah, they do. No secret about that.
All right. So with the 19th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select
the Cowboys and the Interactive Mock Draft select defensive tackle Deron Payne out of Alabama.
Ooh, I like that pick.
Yeah, I like that pick too. I went with a different Alabama guy. I took linebacker Rashaan Evans. They currently have, other than Sean Lee and who's the guy from Notre Dame? I can't remember his name. Jalen Smith.
Jalen Smith, yeah.
Other than those two guys, they don't have they got another opening spot there on the strong side linebacker. So Rashaan Evans is the perfect fit, in my opinion. They could go Leighton Vander Esch too, actually.
So the interactive mock draft went an Alabama player, and you also went an Alabama player.
Yeah, just different position.
Well, why don't we do the perfect trifecta, and I go an Alabama player?
Is it a different position?
And it is a different position.
Oh.
Wide receiver Calvin Ridley.
There you go. Oh, that's nice.
So there you go.
Cowboys fans will like that. I think all three of those guys are good picks.
Oh, absolutely. All right, so with the 20th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select.
Fan selected running back Darius Geis out of Louisiana State. This has been rumored, I know quite a bit already from stuff that I've read. I don't think the Lions need to add another running back. They already have like 5 or 6 guys on their roster that, I mean, are very serviceable. I don't see why they need to add a running back, but for whatever reason, I mean, even beat reporter guys like Dave Burkett, I've seen him retweet a bunch of stuff. It looks like they're going to draft a running back at some point. So why not take the second best guy in the draft?
All right.
That's my thoughts on that one. I did not pick a running back personally.
Speaking of Darius Geis, it was reported today that he changed his manager, and he is
his agency or what?
His agency, yeah. And he is now being represented by Young Money Sports Agency.
Oh my gosh.
And now if you're wondering, I think I've heard of Young Money before somewhere. It's a record label owned by Lil Wayne, who coincidentally also owns Young Money Sports Agency. So Darius Geis is now represented by Lil Wayne. There you go.
Was there any purpose behind that move? Or is it just, a good headline catcher?
I mean, obviously Lil Wayne's not the one negotiating these contracts.
Well, yeah, I just think it's...
But I don't know.
It doesn't seem like an agency that's very professional, in my opinion. But that's... do whatever you want to do, man.
If I'm a professional athlete, I'm definitely letting Lil Wayne represent me.
I'll just be like Richard Sherman and represent myself.
I mean, how could you argue with Lil Wayne if he walked into the room? I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, so I'll make my pick here now. I'm going to break Vikings fans' hearts again because he's going to go to a division rival. Guard Isaiah Wynn out of Georgia.
Oh, there it is.
Another position looking for offensive line help on the other side of the line. They lost their center, Travis Swanson. They didn't bring him back. It sounds like they could kick Graham Glasgow over to center, and so that would leave a hole at guard. So why not? Why not bolster the offensive line?
All right. Here is mine. I'm going to agree with the fans. I'm going to go running back Darius Geis.
Man, that's just nuts to me.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I can totally see it. I'm not saying you guys are crazy or anything like that. But if you just go Google the Detroit Lions depth chart and look how many running backs they have.
They've got
it's
like
insane.
5 of them.
I mean, let me sit here and see if I can remember them all. So they added LeGarrette Blount in free agency. They got Amir Abdullah, probably going to be a third down back. Theo Riddick, another third down back. Zach Zenner has shown he can be very serviceable in the past. DeAndre Washington. Am I missing anybody? That's 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just, I don't understand. I don't know why you need to add another running back.
And add Darius Geis to it.
Yeah, okay, Darius Geis the starter. There you go.
With the 21st pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Cincinnati Bengals select.
The fans selected linebacker Leighton Vander Esch out of Boise State.
Okay.
To go across from, I don't know, he could be a starter, or could he be a potential Vontaze Burfict replacement? Because I know he has been on the trade block the past few months.
Yeah.
So, in my draft, I also went with linebacker Leighton Vander Esch.
Okay.
I don't know much behind it. So.
I went with cornerback Josh Jackson.
Cornerback Josh Jackson. All right.
I did.
Yeah, I forgot. Adam Pac-Man Jones is not there anymore, so they probably
out of
another
there.
Corner.
Yeah. All right. With the 22nd pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Buffalo Bills select.
Buffalo Bills select linebacker Rashawn Evans out of Alabama.
Okay.
That'd be Lorenzo Alexander. I mean, I think he's going to be like 35 next year, so
Yeah.
that'd be a good replacement. I like that a lot. That's a good pick.
And who did you pick?
All right. I had to revise my mock draft today because of some certain news that popped up this morning. For those that don't know, Buffalo Bills guard, perennial Pro Bowler, Richie Incognito announced his retirement today after 12 seasons.
Oh, wow.
So-
I did not hear that.
Oh, how did you not hear that?
I was busy today, man. I have this thing called a job and
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I work
I just get
hard.
like alerts on my phone, so I gotta check it once in my pocket every once in a while, and that popped up today. So, yeah, it's actually rumored that it wasn't because of his contract. I know he recently fired his agent. They said that it's because of health concerns, whatever that means. I don't know if he's had like some brain damage or neck injuries or what. So, why not replace Richie Incognito with Richie Incognito Jr.? Will Hernandez, the guard out of UTEP, the bowling ball.
Yeah, that's gonna change some things for me. I have them going center Billy Price.
Well, I mean, he can play guard too, though.
Yeah, he can play guard. He's more of he's a guard center. So,
So, just think about this for a second. Bills fans just got to be in like complete meltdown mode right now. If you're a big Tyrod Taylor fan, I mean, that's one thing. But you throw in the Zay Jones news from this offseason, talking about him trying to take his own life and whatnot, jumping out of 30-story hotel buildings. You trade your left tackle, Cordy Glenn, probably arguably a top 10 tackle in the league. They traded him to Cincinnati. Eric Wood had a career-ending injury with his neck. He had to retire, so you don't have a center, and now Richie Incognito retires. And he's one of the top 5 guards in football. So the offensive line's going to look completely different next year. And it's just Buffalo looks like a disaster right now.
yeah, I agree. All right, so with the 23rd pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the New England Patriots select.
The fans selected tackle Connor Williams out of Texas.
Okay.
I don't think he's going to fall that far, but the fans did. So
Okay.
this is where the Patriots originally traded up with the Seahawks. The Seahawks traded back to 23, so they're picking here, and I have them selecting cornerback Josh Jackson out of Iowa.
Okay.
To replace Richard Sherman.
All right. And I'm going a little crazy on mine. Maybe. Oh shoot! Sorry for all that noise. Just dropped my phone. I'm going a little crazy on mine, and I'm going edge rusher Sam Hubbard.
Yeah, they need that too.
Yep.
Michael Bennett's gone. So I don't know if Sam Hubbard will be a first-round pick or not, but that's bold.
I'm picking for the Patriots, not the Seahawks.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's right.
So
I apologize.
there's that.
Okay. Makes sense.
All right. With the 24th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Carolina Panthers select.
The fans went with wide receiver Cortland Sutton out of SMU. Another tall wide receiver going to Carolina.
Are
you ready for my pick, Chris? Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
You don't like Cam? Cam the man?
You know.
Yeah, I know you don't. Are you ready for my pick?
I'm ready.
Okay. Jonathan Stewart replacement and Christian McCaffrey compliment. Running back Darius Geis out of Louisiana State.
Get out of here.
It's going to happen, man.
Get out of here.
It's going to happen.
I went with cornerback Jair Alexander.
Yeah. Another spot they need help in.
Jair.
The Panthers are actually a really fun team to mock here because I was going to so many different scenarios. They have a lot of different needs.
Oh, a lot.
It's
And
actually
then
crazy.
and now all of a sudden they need a linebacker. Thomas Davis suspended.
Well, he's going to retire anyway. He's going to retire after this year, anyways.
Yeah. So yeah.
So yeah. So you got linebacker. You could probably get another free safety. Kurt Coleman's gone. You could get a corner. You could probably get a DN after you release Charles Johnson. Julius Peppers isn't getting any younger. He's probably going to retire after next year. Did I miss anything on defense? And then we can move over to offense. You need a wide receiver. You need another running back because Jonathan Stewart's gone. Christian McCaffrey is not a workhorse.
Receivers.
Yeah. And then Andrew Norwell is gone. Left guard, you need a left guard. You could probably go Isaiah Wynn here if he drops that far, Will Hernandez, etc.
They need a left tackle too because they're.
And then you need a center too, maybe James Daniels because Ryan Khalil's going to retire after this season as well. So
can both
I don't know how many different
retire at the same time?
Yeah, you can take Matt with him. He's garbage. But yeah, I don't know how many different needs I just named off there, but they have a lot.
They do.
That is no secret.
They do. All right, with the 25th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans select.
Fan selected. This is a popular pick. I must throw that in there. Edge, rush defender, Harold Landry out of Boston College. I also went with Harold Landry. I don't have much to say about it. It's just rumored. This is one of those picks that two teams, the name and the team, are tied to each other.
Mm-hmm.
What do you got?
I went with linebacker Rashaan Evans.
Okay.
Okay.
I was trying to think about it for a second. I was thinking they have a 3-4 defense, but he could play 3-4 middle linebacker. I forgot that the guy that went to the Jets, they lost one of their linebackers in free agency.
All right, with the 26th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons select.
Chris's favorite team, defensive tackle Maurice Hurst out of Michigan was selected by the fans.
Okay.
And I also went with the defensive tackle, but it was not Maurice Hurst. This is another name that's popped up that's been tied to the Atlanta Falcons quite a bit. And I know they like the Florida Gator guys, and I got Taven Bryan out of Florida.
Okay. Interesting pick. I went cornerback Isaiah Oliver.
See, I like that pick, actually. Just because I don't think Isaiah Oliver gets enough credit. He's another one of those guys that's like a top 5 corner in this class, but nobody ever talks about him. I don't think he's going to go in the first round, but I think he's definitely deserving.
Okay, so with the 27th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select.
Can you guess what the fans picked, Chris?
They went with tight end Dallas Goedert.
Goddard out of SDSU, South Dakota State. That's been a popular pick as well.
Yeah.
For the first time in a long time, I did not go with Dallas Goedert out of South Dakota State.
I didn't.
I went with a wide receiver, a slot wide receiver, Christian Kirk out of Texas A&M.
I like the pick.
You have any?
No, I like it. I like the
any
pick.
thoughts on that?
No, they need wide receiver. They need wide receiver.
It's a nice weapon, I think, for Drew Brees.
Yeah, absolutely. And what was the scenario me and you were arguing about the other day?
For what?
We were texting
the Saints.
About the Saints. We were texting the other day, and you asked me something. Would they be? Oh, you asked if they go defensive tackle.
Oh yeah, I asked you if that was a possibility, and the reason I asked you if that was a possibility because as I was doing this mock draft, for those of you that haven't noticed yet, Daron Payne is still on the board for me.
Oh wow!
He has not been selected yet, so I don't know. I mean that's a really good value pick, and I actually think that's a steal at the end of the first round. But in this mock draft, I have him dropping out of the first round altogether.
I still don't have him. He's still on my board too, so there's that.
Yeah.
I went with quarterback Lamar Jackson.
You would.
That's who I went
Can
with,
I
man.
can I ask you a question? I want to ask you a question here.
Okay.
I'll do it. I was gonna wait till the draft started, but I'm gonna ask you now. If you had your choice of one player that you want the Saints to select, I mean, it has to be a realistic player. Don't pick anybody like Barkley or Quentin Nelson or anything like that. But come draft day, who is one player where the Saints pick him, you read it on your phone or through the television or whatever, and you're not going to go to work the next day because you're getting smashed?
One player
Who's that guy?
one player that could legitimately fall to him. I think if I had to pick one player that I would just be,
You don't know, do you? Is it Lamar Jackson?
I would be super excited about Lamar Jackson. Obviously, I'd want one of the other I would probably want Rosen, but that's not realistic. So
Okay.
if they trade up, I hope they go Josh Allen or Josh Rosen for sure. One of those two, if there's even a thought of them trading up. But they don't have the draft capital to get that far up, I don't think, without giving away the bank in future drafts. Definitely, so they don't have the draft capital this year to do that. Lamar Jackson, I would be extremely happy with that pick. A lot of Saints fans are kind of hating on that because the quote unquote he doesn't fit into our system. And what I have to say about that is Sean Payton is one of the best offensive minds in the NFL. And if you think for a second that he is not smart enough to redo his system to fit the quarterback that he has, you are absolutely crazy.
Chris, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life.
That Sean Payton would change an offense up for a quarterback?
No, that fans are complaining that Lamar Jackson wouldn't fit into that system because, first of all, any smart offensive mind in the league changes the system to fit the quarterback's strengths. It doesn't matter what team it is.
Exactly.
So, and let me just add on, you throw in two running backs like Alvin Kamara, I don't know how you say his name, Kamara, and Mark Ingram with that as well. I mean, think about all the option zone reads that you could run and stuff out of the backfield.
Oh my God, it would be crazy. It'd be crazy.
It's a lot of fun. So that's just ridiculous on that part.
Yeah, no,
there's not really any argument to it.
That's who I really I think they're going quarterback, and I think they're doing their homework and trying to figure out where the quarterbacks are all landing on everybody else's boards, and I think, man, I don't know, man. I hope they don't give away the future to go get the quarterback, but at the same time, I don't want to be one of those teams that goes through 3 or 4 years of misery trying to find the next Drew Brees when Drew Brees retires,
Yeah, I've been there.
But at the same time, I don't want them to give away everything, so we have the quarterback, but we have nothing to put around him either. So it's kind of a catch-22,
I mean, if you want, Chris, you could give us your second-round pick for Trevor Siemian. I'm cool with that.
No, I like Trevor Siemian. I like him on other people's teams, though.
Not QB of the future for the Saints?
No. Hey, they may have maybe they're not going to go quarterback because they do have Taysom Hill, so there's always that.
Right, Taysom Hill.
All right, so with the 28th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select.
This is a tough one. I thought this was tough. The fans selected cornerback Jair Alexander out of Louisville.
Mm-hmm.
But this is just tough just because it all depends on how the board falls, I think. The Steelers virtually really don't have any needs on offense, so it just depends kind of how the board falls on defense. I also went with a defensive player. I went with safety Justin Reed out of Stanford. Justin Reed is arguably my favorite player in draft. I've done so much work on him. I probably watched like 2 hours worth of tape on Justin Reed, so I just love that kid. I wish the Vikings would pick him, but the Steelers at 28 get to stealing.
All right. I'm going with the linebacker, Vander Esch.
Leighton. Yep, Leighton Vander Esch.
Yep.
That's another name that's been tied to the Steelers for a long time now, about a month or so. So
Yeah.
it's a good pick.
All right, with the 29th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select.
Jacksonville Jaguars select wide receiver DJ Moore out of Maryland.
Okay.
That's the fans' pick. I went with cornerback Jair Alexander, who was previously picked by the Steelers in the fans draft. Think about the combination of Jalen Ramsey, AJ Bouye, and now Jair Alexander in the slot.
Yeah.
Good luck throwing for 150 yards a game against the Jaguars next year, if that happens.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be that would be crazy.
What you got?
I went with wide receiver DJ Chark out of
different
Louisiana
DJ.
State. That is who I went with.
That is actually a guy. I don't think he's going to go in the first round, but I think he's going to go a lot earlier than people think because he tested really well at the combine, and his tape doesn't match the type of player I think he is, just because Louisiana State hasn't had the best QBs in the past to throw to him. So I like that pick. That's a good pick too. To replace Allen Hurns.
Yep. All right. So with the 30th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Minnesota Vikings select.
You and I had the longest conversation about this.
We did.
The fans. This is like the Vikings fans like number one guy. Isaiah Wynn out of Georgia. That's the guy everybody wants. I want him too. I think he's a really good player. I mean that'd be a hell of a get if he could fall that far. I don't think he's going to fall that far. If he makes it past, what did we talk about? You look at all the teams. You add the Bills today. They need a guard now. The Bengals need help. The Panthers, the Falcons could probably take a guard too, replace Brandon Fusco. And the Jaguars. All those guys need guards. So I don't see that scenario happening. I know we talked about that pick was made on the interactive mock draft.
Yeah.
My pick. In my last trade of the first round, I have the New York Giants trading up 34. They have a lot of picks, by the way, so they have a lot of draft capital. Trading up from the 34th pick, which is the second pick in the second round, and acquire a fourth-round pick back. The Vikings don't have a fourth-round pick this year, and for those that don't know, Rick Spielman loves his picks, and he's going to want to get that pick back at some point. So this is where that happens. Giants move up and select quarterback Mason Rudolph out of Oklahoma State. 6 quarterbacks in the first round. I'm sorry.
All right. So you don't even have the Vikings getting a first round pick.
I have no selection for the Vikings in the first round. I don't think it's going to happen. Okay. All depends on how the board falls, but right now, with the way that my board fell, I don't see that happening.
Okay. I went with guard Will Hernandez.
For the Vikes?
Yeah.
I'm cool with that.
Yep.
I really do. Sometimes I just for fun I like to YouTube Will Hernandez and watch him beat up on people.
All right, with the 31st pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the New England Patriots select.
The fans selected quarterback Mason Rudolph out of Oklahoma State, and this would definitely be a Tom Brady successor pick.
And you think Mason Rudolph could be that?
I mean, maybe. I think anybody could be a Tom Brady successor in Bill Belichick's system, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Look at the guys in the past that have had success. Matt Castle, and then he went to another team and he was crap. Jimmy Garoppolo. He's turned to a lot of good players. A lot of quarterbacks into good players. So.
Yeah.
My pick here is cornerback Mike Hughes out of Central Florida. Mike Hughes, I mean, I know you're really high on Mike Hughes yourself, and I am too. For some reason, I feel like he's not going to go in the first round, but this is too good of a talent for the Patriots to pass up, especially with, what's his face, the Super Bowl guy.
Malcolm Butler.
Malcolm Butler is gone now, so
Yeah.
they need some help at corner.
Yep. I also went with cornerback Mike Hughes.
Ooh, I like it.
Yep. All right, and with
All right.
the 32nd pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select
Big Vic. We should have had Big Vic on to make the pick for us.
the sports Greek. He's gonna love it. He's gonna love it if you make the right pick.
The fans went with tight end Mike Gesicki out of Penn State. That's a guy that the Eagles are rumored to like, and it sounds like the fans like him a lot too. That makes a lot of sense. Penn State, Pennsylvania. I also went with tight end Mike Gesicki. They lost Brent Selleck, and Zach Ertz is more of a move tight end. And Mike Gesicki can be that too, but he offers a little bit more value in the blocking aspect of the game.
Yeah. I also went tight end, but I went Dallas Goedert.
Okay.
So.
Oh man, that'd be insane. They don't need wide receivers if that happens.
So there we go. So that's me, Tanner, and the interactive mock draft 2.0. All right.
I need to note one more time, just in case anybody is curious. If you did miss out on the interactive mock draft on Sunday, we are going to do one more on the 22nd, the Sunday of the draft. Or Sunday, that's the week of the draft. We are going to do one more interactive mock draft, if you didn't have a chance to chime in on that.
Yeah, so be sure that you are following us at All Pro Nation, so you can get involved with that mock draft. So
it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's move on into segment number 2, where we are going to talk a little free agency review. Who won, who lost? So, Tanner, who won in your opinion? Well, actually, let's start off with the loser. Who lost in your opinion in free agency?
I don't know. It's tough to say they lost, but I'm probably going to go with either the Cardinals or the Broncos, just because I think the Broncos aren't really as far away as people think. I still think they have a really good defense, and they have weapons on offense, but the offensive line was just not good enough last year, and the quarterback position was such an issue. So I would have liked to see them do a lot more in free agency. They added Case Keenum. I mean, we honestly have no idea what kind of a pickup that's going to be like. He played really well for the Vikings last year, but can he put together another year like 2017, a magical run?
Yeah.
So, I mean, other than that, I mean, what other big-name free agents did they add? Clinton McDonald, the defensive tackle from Tampa. But he ain't even going to be a starter, so they really didn't do much at all. It's kind of disappointing. That's my loser. Broncos, probably.
All right. My loser is going to be the Dallas Cowboys.
Why? I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you. I want to know why.
You know, so the Dallas Cowboys won. There's still we still haven't figured out the whole Dez Bryant situation yet. That's still kind of hanging over them. They really didn't get involved much in free agency.
Not really.
They were very patient, very calm. Now a lot of that has to do with they have no freaking money. They seem to never have, for a team that never goes to this postseason, they never seem to have freaking money. And we talked about this a couple of weeks ago on the podcast. They've got all their money invested in, 6 or 7 guys. Like
Dez Bryant.
Dez Bryant, Jason
DeMarcus
Witten,
Lawrence.
Their offensive line,
DeMarcus Lawrence,
DeMarcus
$17 million.
Lawrence, yeah. So I mean, so it's just it's crazy to me. It's crazy for a team that's never in the postseason to always be broke, never have money, never be able to make upgrades. They've got so many needs, in my opinion, and none of which have really been addressed. So here's to hoping they have a good draft. Here's to hoping that their patience may have paid off, and it seems like a lot of teams overpaid for some players. I don't know, but they're just real quiet.
It happens every year.
They didn't really add a whole lot. They added just a couple pieces, and they were more serviceable pieces, so
Mhm. I would like to touch on one, but I mean, because I know people, if you're listening to this, you're probably wondering why the hell didn't anybody pick the LA Rams? Oh yeah, I guess we haven't talked about the winner yet. You're not gonna say the Rams, are you?
I'm not gonna say the Rams, but
Well,
spoiler alert.
most of their additions were trades. So I just need to to let everybody know that that's why I didn't pick the Rams, because they weren't free agent signings.
All right. Well, who did you pick to win if it's not the Rams?
My winner of free agency was the Bears.
The Bears had a killer free agency.
Yeah, they added a lot of really good pieces, and I really like what they're doing in Chicago. And
Yeah.
I actually think that they're going to compete for a playoff spot next year. Whether people believe me or not is to be determined. But I mean, they did lose Cameron Meredith. That does suck. But they added wide receiver Allen Robinson from Jacksonville. They added a really good tight end, Trey Burton from Philadelphia. They added a speedster to Taylor Gabriel. So they did a really good job of adding pieces that Mitchell Trubisky can be successful with.
Yeah.
And they added Aaron Letch, who I think is a really good depth pass rusher for the Bears. And they got Marcus Cooper back too. So I think they probably – that's my winner for free agency.
All right. My winner of free agency – No, I know. I'm going to get back into the good graces of all those fans earlier that were so mad when I picked Isaiah Wynn. The Minnesota Vikings are my winner in free agency.
Oh, my goodness gracious. I can't wait to hear it. We had like 2 signings.
Look.
3 signings. 3 big signings.
Obviously, Kirk Cousins is big. Slightly overpaid, maybe, but big.
Yeah, it'll be slightly overpaid for a year.
Sheldon Richardson. Huge. What was the one thing that I complained about throughout the season and the postseason about the Vikings? Their lack
defensive line depth.
Their lack of depth on the defensive line. I complained about it over and over. I kept saying they're getting worn out. They're playing too many snaps, and their stats at the beginning of the year were heavily outweighed their stats at the end of the year because they're just getting tired. It's a long season.
Mm-hmm.
So that was big for me. The Vikings, this is a team that made it to the NFC Championship game, and if you look at their team as a whole, there wasn't a whole lot of holes. They need offensive line help. It's probably their biggest need, and outside of that, they need quality depth. They got a quarterback. They added a few pieces. They're gonna have some picks in the draft to get the depth. The Vikings killed it, if you ask me.
They did what they needed to.
Yeah, absolutely. And just slightly overpaid Kirk Cousins. But no,
So,
but seriously,
go ahead.
Granted, a fully guaranteed contract is absolutely nuts to me.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely nuts. But he was offered more money elsewhere. So the Vikings didn't get into more of a bidding war. They gave him their best offer. Other teams outbid him. He looked at it. He knew that this is where he could go to win, and he made the right choice. And the Vikings wouldn't have landed Kirk Cousins if they didn't have their stuff together, right? They wouldn't have landed him. The teams that were interested, the other teams that were interested in him were garbage, right? He wasn't going to win a championship there. He obviously chose where he was going to win the championship at. If the Vikings wouldn't have been in it, let's say they re-signed Case Keenum or Teddy Bridgewater, if they wouldn't have been in the market for him, he'd have got paid a lot more money and gone somewhere and lost. So,
right.
I think just the Kirk Cousins signing alone made the Vikings win free agency. But
right.
You know me, I love the Sheldon Richardson pick. Loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah, I agree. I love it too.
So
I'm not going to say that they're the winners of free agency because I don't want to be biased, and I'm not. I'm trying to be as real as I can. But the Vikings did do what they had to do to make another run in 2018. They didn't have to add a lot of pieces. They just added what they needed to add. So you went out, like you said, you got the quarterback that you needed to get the ball around the field, put up a lot of points. Because I mean, you look at the defense; they're going to hold teams to 14 points a game.
yeah,
So I mean, you score 3 touchdowns a game. I mean, you're going to go probably 12-4, 13-3. And the only glaring hole that we had on our defense all of last season was our 3-tech defensive tackle. So Rick Spielman went out and signed Sheldon Richardson, arguably one of the best free agents on the market. It's a 1-year deal, prove it deal, show us what you got. So I'm hoping that he can stay healthy. And starting wise, like of all the starters on the defense, they're very, very well rounded from the D line to the linebackers to the secondary. So,
yeah.
I mean, depth is still an issue, but that's not something that can't be addressed in the draft. And then they went in and added, I think, Kendall Wright, the receiver from the Bears last year. I think that's an underrated signing too. I think he's going to be a good slot player for the Vikings next year and get some touches.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's jump into.
Oh, I got to throw one more thing out there quick.
Okay.
Did you see how many players the Jets added in free agency? They added like 15 people.
No, I don't know how I missed that, but no, I didn't.
I want to read off the wide receiver depth chart to you quick.
Okay.
I don't know how many. Just listen to this for a second. Okay, so they got Quincy Enunwa, who had a really good 2016 and missed 2017 with an injury. They got Jermaine Kearse, who they brought in last year. Robbie Anderson had a good year. Ardarius Stewart was a high draft pick for him last year. They added Terrell Pryor in free agency. Sharon Peak was another wide receiver they got in the draft last year. Devin Smith, a deep threat. Chad Hansen, another pick in the draft last year. Andre Roberts, they added him in free agency. I don't think he'll be a wideout. He's more of a kick returner guy. And then Lucky Whitehead, who's also like a kick returner / wide receiver.
Yeah.
So that's 10 wideouts. Just like I can't fathom why you would add that many guys. Like, what are you trying to do?
Yeah.
Like, how many are you going to keep? 5 or 6? I don't know. If I'm the Jets GM, I don't really understand any of those moves. So, I just thought that was amazing.
All right.
But yeah, move on to your topic.
Move on. So let me go ahead and throw something. So this is gonna be a weekly Chris rant. All right. So some as you know, teams with new coaches got to go ahead and meet their team this week and kind of get started in some off-season programs, right? Phase 1, if you will. Phase 1 is they're not even allowed to talk about the playbook or anything like that. They're only allowed to do some strength and conditioning and, kind of meet and greet, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so this is what's going on. And all of a sudden, people want to make a big deal over Khalil Mack missing the first day. 1, it's not mandatory. 2, Khalil Mack is a professional, and he's probably going to get better weight training done in his private gym with his private strength and conditioning coach than he will at the facility. Mm-hmm. They're not doing anything that he can't do at home. So him missing it, players miss this crap all the time. But we want to look at people like Khalil Mack and say, oh, well, Khalil Mack, he's not being a good leader. He's not doing. No, Khalil Mack's got other things that he's doing. He dedicates his time day in and day out, August to December, for the Oakland Raiders. Hopefully in January, in February, right?
Right.
he's away from his family. Like, dude, give the man some time to just do his thing. Then we're going to flip on the other side, and then we're going to overreact about, oh, well, Odell Beckham showed up. What does this mean about Odell Beckham? Odell Beckham, this doesn't change anything about Odell Beckham. Odell Beckham still has the leverage in this situation, right?
Mhm.
And so, Odell Beckham showing up doesn't mean that he's in New York he showed up for the first day and got to meet Pat Shurmur, so let's give him $100 million. No, that's not what it means. We've got to stop overreacting about players and what they do in these optional workouts.
You know what this is, right?
What?
It's the off season, Chris.
God, I know.
These reporters are bored. They need to make some headlines, and this is the best way to do it.
Yeah. I mean, I get it, but it's just
yeah, fans overreact.
Yeah. Definitely overreact.
I mean, when you want to start the mandatory stuff, if they don't show up for the mandatory stuff, that's when you can start to talk about it. But the non-mandatory stuff, who cares? Who cares if Khalil Mack doesn't show up to a non-mandatory workout?
All right. And so, yeah, I agree. And so, sticking with the Chris rant, now let's talk about a guy that a lot of people may not know of. And his name is Nick Nelson. You know who Nick Nelson is. I love Nick Nelson. Right?
He's the man.
He's the man, right? He's a good cornerback. Did you know that Nick Nelson tore his meniscus the other day, a couple days ago?
Yeah, working out for somebody, didn't it?
A private workout for the Seattle Seahawks. And so here's Chris rant number 2. Why is this still a thing? Why are these NFL teams bringing in these college kids and making them work out, making them run these drills, and risking them getting hurt? Right? So here's the thing. We complain about not wanting to pay college players. Oh, we can't pay the college players. They get free college. They get free tuition. Do you know how much that costs? Which is true. It's true. I'll give you that. A 4 years of college at some of these schools is thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Okay, I get that. But now Nick Nelson isn't in college anymore. He is now out of college, moving into a career. His potential future employer then asked him to do something that now put him in risk of getting hurt. He did get hurt. Now he'll be lucky to even get drafted with a torn meniscus. This workout just cost him millions of dollars. Mm-hmm. And Seattle Seahawks don't care that, okay, well, we're not drafting Nick Nelson now. But nobody cares about Nick Nelson. Nobody cares. I'm ready. I'm ready for agents to start telling their prospects before the draft, don't do a private workout. Just don't go. You went to the combine. If you're a senior, you were at the Senior Bowl. You went to your pro day. What do they need a private workout for? Don't go.
Mm-hmm.
You think?
So my thing with that is
do you think Josh Rosen's not going to get drafted in the first round if he doesn't go to a private workout?
No.
Exactly.
So I don't understand. My thing with working out for teams privately is, I don't know what they asked, but they're asking them to do DB drills or what, but that's what the combine is for. You send scouts to watch players to do that, and that's what pro days are for. You send scouts to the team's pro days to check those players out. So I don't know why you would have to bring them in for a third time after two different opportunities to watch a player. You shouldn't have to do it a third time
and risk injury if they're a senior. And let's not forget, all their college game tape is on film that you can get, that you have access to. Mm-hmm. I think this is ridiculous. Nick Nelson is not employed by anybody, so there's no workman's compensation. There's no paycheck coming in because he's hurt. He's just hurt. He's sitting at home, no job. I think
For what it's worth, they did say he will be ready for the season. But I mean, a torn meniscus does suck.
But this happens year in and year out, right?
Yeah.
This happened last year.
Oh, it's definitely going to hurt his draft stock. I mean, he was probably like a round 3, round 4 type player. I mean, he could very well drop to, late 5, early 6 maybe now, maybe even round 7, depending on how scared teams are about it. But I mean, a meniscus isn't like an ACL; it shouldn't scare teams away that much.
I'm just saying.
But that's not the point of the story. I understand.
Yeah, I'm just getting tired of prospects getting hurt and getting screwed over.
Right.
So, all right. I guess we'll move into NFL news of the week.
Mm-hmm. The Rams cut cornerback Kayvon Webster. That surprised me a little bit. I guess they added Aqib Talib and Marcus Peters, so it shouldn't surprise me a ton. But it's rumored that the Broncos are maybe interested in bringing him back. I wish the Vikings would look at him. The Saints signed restricted free agent Cameron Meredith away from the Bears.
Is that official?
About that, Chris?
Is that official? No, the Bears have till tomorrow to match.
Yeah, they can match, but I feel like they would have done it by now.
Yeah, they have till I think 5:00 tomorrow to match. So
I think that's a good get for the Saints.
Yeah, well, I think it's a great get.
Cameron Meredith was one of those guys in training camp last year.
I mean,
and the offseason that was rumored to just be like tearing it up, and he was predicted to have a breakout year. So I think he tore his ACL. I think that's what happened, but
yeah, he
was a
tore his
disappointment,
ACL.
so.
I mean, that's the thing. I'm curious how he comes back from the ACL.
Yeah, I think it's a good get. I think he's going to be a good player for the Saints. The Browns traded quarterback Kevin Hogan to the Redskins for a 6th-round pick. The Browns were sitting there with 4 quarterbacks for a while. They told Kevin Hogan that he could seek a trade, and I think it came out a day later that he was traded to the Redskins. I already touched on this a little bit, but for those that might have missed it, if you were doing something else, Todd McShay did come on to ESPN XM Radio last week and said that the Dolphins, who are picking at number 11, are 90% done with a trade to move up to number 6 with the Colts. I'm guessing they're taking a quarterback, but who knows? You touched on this already. Panthers linebacker Thomas Davis has been suspended for 4 games to start the 2018 season for taking performance enhancers. Did you see his video that he posted? Saying that what he was taking, he didn't know that it was illegal.
I call bullshit.
Yeah, well, I was going to ask you what your thoughts were on that.
All right. We'll go Chris Rant number 3. All right. So, 1, Thomas Davis is a professional. He's been in the league.
I've been in the league for a long time.
Yeah, he's been in the league, 15 years maybe?
Something like that, yeah.
You know, look, professional athletes, if there's one thing I know, I absolutely 100% know about professional athletes. It is that they take care of their body, right? Because their body is their money, right? Their body breaks down, they're not worth anything. Professional athletes know what they're putting into their body. They know what they eat. They know what is going into their body. And and it was an estrogen blocker is what he was taking. And if you mean to tell me that he didn't know that that was a banned substance, I'm calling bullshit. I don't like PEDs. I think PEDs are terrible for the sport. I think they're terrible for all sports. It's cheating.
It's cheating. Yeah, it is cheating.
You know? And I think I don't think there's any place for it in the NFL and the MLB and the NBA, any sport. I don't think there's any place for PEDs. So, there's that.
Here's some more. I don't know. I'm really disappointed by this news personally. Andrew Luck came out yesterday and said, quote unquote, "I'm not a perfect feeling athlete right now." and he has yet to resume throwing in April. I just think that's such a disappointment of a career because Andrew Luck was one of those millennial quarterbacks that you see come out like once every 20 years, and he's supposed to be like the next Joe Montana, Tom Brady, whatever.
Yeah.
And it just really, 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 really sucks that we may never get to see him hit a field again. And
Yeah, that.
just as a football fan, from perspective, even if you're a Texans, Titans, Jaguars fan, whatever, it should hit you in the gut knowing that you might never get to see him again. I hashed on this already. Bills guard Richie Incognito says he is strongly considering retirement. I think it's pretty much already rumored that he has retired. After today, that was broken by Vic Carucci, I'm sorry. I think he's a Bills reporter. Colonel's head coach Steve Wilks came out today and confirmed that they are switching to a 4-3 defense this year. I like that move too. And the last thing I have is for those of you that remember Robert Griffin III.
Oh God.
He is back in the league and he has signed a 1-year deal with the Baltimore Ravens to back up Joe Flacco.
But Colin Kaepernick can't get a job.
Yeah. That's right.
Interesting. I'm surprised you didn't.
Here, let me ask you this.
Okay.
How confident are you? Actually, no, I'll just ask you straight up. True or false, will Colin Kaepernick ever get another chance to play football?
No.
In the NFL?
No.
0 chance. 100% positive.
I think it's bullshit. I think he should. I think he's better than Robert Griffin III. I think he's better than Blake Bortles. I think he's better than Nathan Peterman. I think he's better than Chase Daniel. I think he's better than a lot of these backup quarterbacks.
So the thing is Colin Kaepernick is definitely better than, I don't know what, 5 to 7 starters maybe more than that.
Oh yeah,
starting quarterbacks in the NFL. I mean, he's definitely a starting capable quarterback. Honestly, it just comes down to
my opinion on what he stands for and what he did. It doesn't even matter. I'm not even taking the knee stuff. None of that.
Yeah, we're talking about from a player standpoint.
From a player standpoint, there's no reason he is not a starting quarterback in this league, especially with all the teams that need quarterbacks.
And I think teams believe that too. I mean, they have to. From a scout's perspective, a GM's perspective, you have to know that Colin Kaepernick is better than a lot of other starting quarterbacks in the NFL. But like you said, it comes down to the whole knee thing. I mean,
but
I don't know if it's from owners or general managers. Are they worried about
Michael Bennett, Marshawn Lynch, Malcolm Jenkins? They all have jobs. They've been just as outspoken as Kaepernick.
So what is the case here?
My case is that.
Are we worried about? But they haven't been. I guess. I mean, they have been as outspoken. But when you look about Kaepernick's last year in the league, all of the interviews that he did, is that maybe the concern through owners? Is all the media that he would get, the reports, and are owners scared that they would lose revenue because of this? Fans would stop attending games?
Yes, the rich white billionaire owners are scared about their money. That's what it is.
Well, it's got to be.
That is what it is. That's 100% what it is.
We're not trying to make this political, but we do have to talk about why we think Colin Kaepernick isn't going to play it for an NFL team.
Oh, he'll never play again.
When the talent is there.
If Johnny Manziel makes his way back into the NFL, I think it's atrocious that Robert Griffin III has made it back in and Colin Kaepernick hasn't. But if Johnny Manziel makes it in, I just give up on these teams and their player evaluations. I just don't understand it. He is a good quarterback. If he wants to come play for the New Orleans Saints, I will welcome him with open arms. He won't play.
I just gotta. Yeah, go ahead.
He won't play. He'll ride on the bench, but if he wants to be a backup, he can come to New Orleans.
I just got a Twitter notification from Forrest Lamp. You know who Forrest Lamp is?
I don't know who Forrest Lamp is. Oh, Forrest Lamp, the the offensive guard.
Yeah, the guard from the Chargers.
Interesting.
Yeah, I had a tweet. I think it was yesterday. Or no, it was during our interactive mock draft. I said that Isaiah Wynn's a much better prospect than Forrest Lamp.
Oh, and he responded to it?
He didn't say anything back, but he liked it. I don't know if he's going to use that as leverage after the season because he didn't play last year, but whatever. That's just my opinion.
Oh, man. Forrest Lamp. Now you need to see if you can get an interview with him.
We should get him on the pod.
All right.
Come on the pod and tell us why he's better than Isaiah Wynn.
I guess that's going to wrap us up for tonight, unless you got anything else that we haven't hit on.
It's pretty much everything. Leave us your thoughts on the mock draft.
Yeah, one thing.
What you liked, what you didn't like.
One thing I'm surprised you didn't hit on was the Trevor Davis getting arrested thing, since you
love
the Green Bay Packers so much.
Oh, I forgot about that.
So
you want to tell everybody what happened, or do you want me to do it?
Go for it. You hate the Packers. Let's let that hate flow through you.
Packers wide receiver Trevor Davis was at an LA airport. What day was this? Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday, I believe.
Yeah, Saturday. He was at an LA airport, Los Angeles airport, with a friend, and he turned to a buddy and said, what did he say? I forgot now.
Something
I already lost it. Yeah, he made a bomb threat. We know that, but he had like a quote-unquote quotation or whatever, and oh yeah, he said, "Did you remember the pack of explosives?" He said that to his friend at an airport. Somebody heard it and immediately responded to the authorities, which they should have. But on his part, like, how dumb can you be?
Yeah, that was super dumb.
Oh my gosh. With all the things that go on in the world, like, this is just not the day and age to make a bomb joke at one of the biggest. Actually, is LA the biggest airport in the country?
I think Atlanta is.
Oh, well, regardless, that was just really, really dumb.
Yeah, super dumb. All right, well, I guess that's gonna wrap us up for tonight. So, few things. Don't forget to make sure that you are following us on both Facebook and Twitter. You can find us at All Pro Nation. You can follow me on my personal page. That's at 318 Chris Smith. You can follow Tanner at purple_post. If you're interested in joining the staff at All Pro Nation, we do have a bunch of cool things coming up. So if you're interested in joining us, be sure to go to allpronation.com. Click the Write For Us tab. You can join the staff at All Pro Nation. Or if you already have your own sports blog and you want to just have your articles posted on a different platform, you can go to the Submit an Article tab and you can upload a file there and it'll be posted on the website within 24 hours. Be sure to, guys, if you have any spare change that you could donate to the All Pro Nation podcast and the All Pro Nation website itself, go to allpronation.com, click the donate tab, and leave us some love there. Be sure that you're interacting with us on social media. We love talking with you guys. We love getting into debates. We just love football. We love what we do. So be sure that you're interacting with us. Be sure to check out some of the other shows available on the All Pro Nation Radio Network. We have the Sports Creeks podcast. We also have a new podcast coming up called The 3 Count. It's a WWE inspired podcast. And we're working on another one. I think we're going to have an NBA one coming out pretty soon. So keep your eyes out for that one. So we got a lot of cool stuff happening over at All Pro Nation. So be sure that you're checking us out, that you're staying plugged in, and you're following us on Twitter at allpronation.com. Be sure to visit the website, and we will be back next week. Until then, peace out.